Welcome back to the channel. We got a fun article today. The 7 most common phrases of self-centered people expose what they really mean. Self-centered people are often difficult to recognize, as their own words can sometimes seem harmless, but if you listen more closely, they reveal a lot about their inner attitude. Here are 8 typical sentences that self-centered people often say and what they really mean by them. Phrase number 1, it's always about me. Have you ever met someone who manages to make every conversation about themselves? Such people use I, me, and my in almost every sentence. Their focus is constantly on their own experiences and opinions, as if the world revolves around them. This is so problematic. Well, the constant focus on themselves can cause them to completely ignore others' perspectives and emotions. Imagine a friend telling you about a difficult experience, and all the self-centered person contributes is a story of their own, which draws attention back to themselves. This makes it difficult to build real connections because the other person feels like they are not being heard or understood. In the long run, this behavior can seriously strain relationships because it lacks empathy and compassion. In addition, the overuse of I, me, and mine often reveals a deeper insecurity. People who constantly need to be the center of attention sometimes do this to compensate for low self-esteem. They unconsciously seek affirmation and recognition by drawing attention to themselves. The problem, however, is that this type of validation is short-term and does not bring deep emotional satisfaction. Instead of having real, connecting conversations, they get stuck in a superficial pattern that doesn't really do them or the people around them any good. The second phrase is, you just don't understand me. This is the classic defensive phrase. Instead of engaging in a discussion or considering other perspectives, self-centered people often shoot down criticism or advice with, you just don't understand me. This protects them from possible attacks on their ego and at the same time ensures that they retain control of the conversation. This phrase is not only a defensive posture, but also a sign that they are not prepared to deal with the feelings and thoughts of others. When someone uses this phrase, they are often signaling that they don't want to make the effort to understand the other person's perspective. The self-centered person avoids dealing with the possibility that they might be wrong or that they need to change something. By placing the responsibility for understanding completely on the other person, they avoid any obligation to reflect or compromise. Another problem with this attitude is that it can lead to a feeling of isolation. If someone constantly feels that no one understands them, they isolate themselves emotionally from others. This self-isolation can cause them to become more and more entangled in their own thoughts and beliefs, which further diminishes their ability to connect with others. Phrase number 3 is, no one can do this as well as I can. Self-centered people believe that they can do everything better than others and like to proclaim this loudly. If someone constantly emphasizes that they are the best at everything, they are less concerned with recognition of their abilities and more concerned with affirming their ego. This attitude can cause problems in various areas of life, be it at work, in relationships, or in everyday situations. If someone constantly believes that only they can do things properly, they are reluctant to delegate tasks and rarely trust others with anything. This can lead to overload and at the same time undermine the potential of other people. In teams, this attitude often leads to tension because the skills of others are not recognized and there is a feeling that colleagues' contributions are not valued. Another negative aspect of this attitude is that it blocks learning and personal development. Those who believe they can already do everything better than anyone else are rarely willing to learn new things or develop themselves further. This stagnation can lead to dissatisfaction in long term. As humans, we are naturally designed to grow and improve. However, if someone is so caught up in their self-importance, they miss out on the opportunities that life offers them to develop further. Phrase number 4 is, I deserve this. Whether at work, in relationships, or in everyday life, self-centered people often believe that they deserve the best. This attitude goes hand in hand with a sense of superiority. But while it's healthy to be aware of your own successes, a constant sense of entitlement can indicate a highly inflated ego. When someone constantly emphasizes that they deserve something, it is often less about the thing itself and more about affirming their own self-worth. However, there is a fine line between healthy self-esteem and a toxic sense of entitlement. A healthy person recognizes that they have earned certain things through hard work and dedication, but they also understand that not everything goes according to plan and that setbacks are part of life. The self-centered person, on the other hand, often reacts with a lack of understanding or anger when they don't get what they want. This sense of entitlement can lead to frustration and negative feelings if expectations are not met. In the long term, this can lead to friends, colleagues, or even partners distancing themselves because they feel they are not being treated fairly in the relationship. Phrase number 5 is, I'm not in love with myself. This phrase is often a defensive reaction when they feel caught out or serves to protect their self-perception. The irony of this phrase is that it often signals the exact opposite of what the speaker intends. Instead of proving that one is not self-involved, the sentence suggests that one is aware of one's tendency to be self-centered and is trying to cover it up. This self-denial can be a sign that the person has difficulty looking at themselves honestly and coming to terms with their weaknesses. Another problem is that such statements are often made in defensive moments when someone feels they are being attacked or criticized. In such situations, the self-centered person often closes up and defends themselves instead of being open to feedback. Phrase 6 is, but enough about you, let's talk about me. This sentence is a prime example of how self-centered people control conversations. They allow others to have their say briefly, but after just a few minutes, they turn the conversation back to themselves. They are not really interested in listening or showing interest, but simply want a platform to put themselves at the center of attention. They are mainly interested in telling their own stories and presenting their own views. Another problem is that such people often don't realize how much they dominate the conversation. They are so focused on themselves that they don't even notice the needs and wishes of others. This can mean that they often find themselves alone in social situations because others feel that a genuine reciprocal relationship is not possible. And finally, phrase number 7 is, I don't care what others think. Self-centered people use this phrase to show that they don't care about the needs or views of others. However, this attitude can quickly lead to isolation and misunderstandings, as they show no consideration for those around them. Those who constantly emphasize that they don't care about the opinions of others are signaling that they don't care about the feelings of others either. As already mentioned, this can lead to isolation as other people feel that their views and feelings are not valued or respected. In social situations, this can lead to the person feeling increasingly alone because they are not making genuine connections with others. Alright, there you have it, the 7 most common phrases of self-centered people expose what they really mean. If you enjoyed this article, please take a second to give it a like, and if you really enjoy this type of content, consider subscribing to the channel.